Okay, go. Last time we have talked about assessment and treatment of mental disorder. I hope you get that lecture. Today we are continuing from there. We are going to look at personality and its measurements. The word personality is derived from a Latin word, persona, meaning mask. And this is because at that time, actors usually wear masks, and the face they present to the audience shows the role and the role they are to play and their personality. Personality is a concept that indicates individual differences. The assumption of personality is that no two persons are the same. Again, it is a concept that is difficult to define, because if you bring 100 psychologists together, they are sure to give you 100 different definitions of personality. But several definitions are in the book because of time. Personality can just be defined as an individual's unique characteristics. These are characteristics that make individual different from others. I want you to read the book, get more information about definition of personality. Now, having known what personality is, that is an individual's unique characteristics that make individual different from others. We are going to look at different aspects of personality. One of the aspects of personality is what we call temperaments. Temperament refers to an individual's inherent predisposition or an individual's emotional response to issues. That's his temperament. Some people are easily angered, and some people are enduring. These are indications of temperament. Now, another aspect of temperament, another aspect of personality, apart from temperament, is character. Character refers to qualities which makes a person either socially acceptable or socially objectionable. It is one's character, an individual's character, that will make him move easily accepted by a group of friends. There are traits, there are behaviors that may be objectionable. Talkativeness, stealing are characters that are objectionable. Honesty, hard work, sincerity are aspects of character that is socially acceptable. So character simply means qualities that makes an individual either acceptable or objectionable. And then the third one is adjustment. Adjustment is also another aspect of personality, apart from temperament and character. Adjustment refers to behavioral patterns that enables an individual to get along with others. That's adjustment. Behavioral patterns that makes an individual to get along with others. It may not have been to a place, or you may have been to a place for the first time. Those aspects of one's personality that make it easy for one to just flow along with others in that new environment that he found himself is made possible by an individual's adjustment, adapting to the environment where one has found himself or herself. Another aspect of personality is intelligence. This intelligence refers to general mental ability, which determines how an individual can deal with abstraction and learn, as well as adjust to the environment. Intelligence is very, very important. It is that aspect of personality that helps an individual to deal with several issues one has found oneself with in the environment. Another aspect of personality is interests. Interests talk about preference for an activity. That's interest. Preference for an activity. There are several activities, but the ones that an individual prefer is the individual's area of interest. For instance, some people may be interested in wrestling, some in football, some in academics, and so forth and so on. Another aspect of personality also is what we call attitude. Attitude is the tendency to favor or reject particular idea, groups, or individuals. Attitude is one's tendency towards the object or events the individual finds in his or her environment. So when we talk about personality, there are 6 aspects of personality. You have temperament, you have character, there's adjustment, intelligence, interest, and attitude. And then having talked about aspects of personality, we need to look at what determines personality. There are several factors that determines personality. All the factors are so many that it has been grouped into 2. Hereditary or genetic factors, and then environmental factors. Now, under environmental factors, you have other sub-factors. Remember, hereditary talk about what one has, traits that an individual has inherited from parents. We are sum total of our parents. We resemble our parents biologically. A child must resemble his biological parents, and that's hereditary. Those traits we have copied from our parents, from our grandparents, from our lineage. That talk about our hereditary or genetic factors. It goes a long way to determining our personality. Individuals that come from families where intelligence runs with that child is definitely going to be intelligence, because intelligence is one of the traits that can be found in the gene of individuals. And then we also have environmental factors. Environmental factors simply refer to influences that an individual come across with every day. Influences can be from friends, can be from church, can be from market. Influences, anything, it can be from media. What one watch from television or read from books can determine an individual's personality. So under environmental factors, we have culture. One's culture can determine the personality of that individual. Individuals from culture that are usually very aggressive, such individuals will also be aggressive wherever they found themselves. Now, another environmental factor is the family. Every individual has a home. That home or family influences the individual in one way or the other. What is acceptable in the home or in the family is also what is acceptable to the individual. In some families, fighting, quarreling is like a norm, and so it's not possible for the child to go out and come back home without fighting. He must fight, because fighting, aggression is in the home. Quarreling, there are homes that morning devotion is marked by quarrel. The father will just call the mother one funny name, the mother will reply, and the children are watching a fight free for all early in the morning. The type of school an individual attends can influence the personality of that individual in one way or the other. Schools where there are no facilities, where the teachers are not sound, knowledgeable in what they are doing, school where the management does not know what to do, is going to affect and influence the child or the individual negatively. And then there is also the peer group as a socializing agency. The peer group has tremendous influence and determines an individual's personality. In psychology, we normally say, show me your friend, and I will tell you who you are. The peer group influences the personality of an individual. Church, mosque are other socializing agencies that can influence. Media, the books, the type of program one watch in television are socializing agencies that can also determine an individual's personality. And then another determinant of personality that is still under the environment is self-concept. What an individual think about himself or herself. That's self-concept, as well as the view of others about a particular individual. That's self-concept. Now, the way an individual views himself determines his personality. Among students, there are the ones that say, I cannot do it, I cannot do it. And it becomes difficult for them to learn effectively because they have already defeated themselves within. And the Bible said that a house divided against itself cannot stand. When an individual has already defeat himself or herself, that individual cannot go far in life. So when an individual has positive self-concept, it will fast track achievements in the life of that person. Situations sometimes can also determine personality. The situation an individual finds himself. The person may not have been a bad person, but the situation he finds himself. Imagine that a student have a test and is coming from town, and the student, unfortunately that day, found himself in a situation where the taxi and bus drivers are on strike. And then, luckily for him, a bus just came around. He can knock down anybody in an attempt to enter that bus because all his mind or her mind will be on that test or exam that is expecting that money. People around me say this child is a bad person because of pushing down an elder. What is the situation the individual has found himself or herself? And psychology sometimes, an individual's physique, bodily constitution, outlook may determine an individual's personality. Somebody that is looking very hard and mean may be taken to be a criminal even if he has a soft mind. So these are some of the determinants of personality. There are also different types of personality. We have type A and type B person. Type A, people who are always notice me. Type A, always aggressive, restless, competitive, always ambitious. You must notice them. And then type B people are impatient. Type A people are usually at the risk of heart attack. They are always emotional. Type A, very, very emotional. They are used to heart attack. Type B people are more relaxed, easygoing, and flexible. They can hardly have heart attack because of their nature of personality. They are relaxed. They take things very easy. But the type A people, very ambitious. If they don't succeed, they think that the world has collapsed. Now there is a third type that is called type C. These ones always display pathological niceness, conflict avoidance, high social desirability, and patience. Those are type C person. So there is type B, type A, type B, type C. Type A, ambitious. Type B, easygoing. Type C, pathologically niceness, very nice. In between type A and type B, you have type C. Then there is the extroverts and introverts. Extroverts are people who take special interest in others. That's extroverts. They take special interest in others. They like outdoor activities. In this corona era, type A people will ask about their neighbors, how they are doing, how they are surviving. And then there is another category of personality, introverts. They hardly think about others. They are self-centered. They think about themselves. In this era of coronavirus, they only think about themselves and will not think about others. However, psychologists have come to discover that there are people who are neither extroverts nor introverts. They are called ambiverts. And then there are several types of personality. In the next class, we are going to talk about the theories of personality. But I just want to talk about Method of assessing personality. Interview can be used in assessing personality. Rating scales can be used. Checklists can be used. Sociometric device can be used. Projectile techniques can be used. All these are well explained in the book. I just want, because of time, and then personality inventory, as well as observation. About 6 of them can be used in assessing personality. Once again, interview, rating scales, number 3, checklist, number 4, sociometric device, projectile techniques, and number 5 is personality inventory and observation. What are some of the problems of personality assessment? One is definitional problem. Most people are not in agreement with the definition of personality. I've already said it's difficult to define. So since so many people are not sure of what personality is, it becomes difficult to even determine it or assess it. And then another one is faking. Most people, when they know that they are being observed, they will project themselves in another way. They put up a behavior, a personality that is different from their real personality. It's just like a father that wants to know that the children is nice. The father, when he comes home, will be playing, but outside, maybe a hardened criminal. But when he comes home, he will want the family members to see him in good light. Some cultists are like that. Some students who are cultists, some cultists, when they go outside, they look mean. Some people will be, this person is very, but at home, they are cool-headed. They are faking. They are presenting a false personality. Their real self is shown when they are alone with others outside their family members. Then another problem of personality assessment is response sets. Response sets simply mean tendency to respond in a particular way to an item, meaning that the person just decided to give that response. He doesn't really mean it, didn't attach any meaning to it. It's just like giving somebody a questionnaire to fill. Without reading it, he just fill it and give it back. That's response. He didn't attach any meaning to the responses that he has given. That's response sets. Chose to just answer in a particular manner. Another one is reliability and validity. Most of the instruments used in assessing personality is not valid and it's not reliable, and it's one of the major problems. Then, because those instruments are not valid and reliable, it becomes difficult to interpret information from such instruments that are not valid and reliable. So we have interpretational problem. And then number 6 is inability to assess the depth of behavior. These are some of the problems in personality assessment. Next time, we are going to look at chapter 8, which is the theories of personality. Please, I've been waiting for questions and responses from you to know that you have accessed these lectures. You can interact with me on the WhatsApp page. Ask your questions so that I will know where you are having difficulty. It's not only on the topics we have treated online, even from where we started with definition of adjustment and psychology. Wherever you have problem in the course, please do well to interact with me on my WhatsApp page. Stay safe, and may God continue to shield you and members of your family. Thank you.